I'm Robert Bradley. I'm the district fish biologist for the North Coast District, the Department of Fish and Wildlife. Covers area from Neskowin up to the Lower Columbia and even some tributaries of the Lower Columbia River. On the coast, the four main basins are the Stucca, the Tillamook Bay streams, Wilson and Trask primarily, and then the Nehalem Basin. And also the Mechanicsm River would be the fourth major basin on the coast. In the Lower Columbia, the major, at least steelhead fishing basins would be Big Creek, Nat Creek, and the Claskanine systems. Well, by far and away, probably the most popular is the Wilson River. It's the closest to Portland and has easy access right off the highway, so hop, skip, and a jump for a lot of people to get there. The Stucca River would be the next most popular, fairly easy to get to off of Highway 101 in South Tillamook County, and not actually that far from the Salem area from Highway 18 and 22. So both of them are fished very heavily, and those would be the two most popular in our district. Well, one of the primary management tools is our hatchery programs. Those are what allow us to offer some harvest opportunity for these fish. So we have hatchery programs in the Wilson and the Stucca, the North Fork Nehalem, and then the Mechanicsm River on the coast. And then each of the big Lower Columbia tributaries, Big Creek, Nat Creek, and Claskanine. So that's the first thing, is people who want to have a chance to harvest fish can go to those areas at the times when the hatchery fish are running and are able to take fish home if they can catch them. We also reserve some areas for wild fish emphasis. So the Trask River, where we're standing right now, is not an area that we will release hatchery fish. The main stem, the Nehalem, is another one, and so those areas offer a little bit less pressure and opportunity for folks to get after some steelhead without as much opportunity to harvest something, but also fewer people around generally to a little bit different experience if that's what they're looking for. Well, hopefully I'd give them a good mental state of mind to start with, in that yes, these fish can be tough to catch, but they're not impossible, and try to go into it with a little bit of confidence, because you will catch some fish if you put in some time and are observant and follow some basic techniques. The next thing I would tell them is just that, stick with some basic techniques, something that's easy. You don't have to worry about maybe snagging up all the time or anything like that. So casting spinners or a bobber and jig or a bobber and bead or something like that are relatively simple techniques, can be applied over large areas, and won't be frustrating in terms of losing a lot of gear and in that respect. So the next thing I would tell them is to pick a particular river, and more specifically a part of that river, and learn it. Go fish several holes, watch what other people do, watch where fish are caught. Hopefully you get into some fish over time, and you'll start learning where to fish, and then fish at various water levels, because the fish will be in different places depending on how high or low the flows are. Under normal conditions, the typical winter flows, the fish are going to be holding in areas that are a little swifter moving than salmon typically like. You typically are going to find them in, say, 4 to 8 feet of water, walking speed, give or take water, even sometimes faster than that. They will orient towards tailouts of holes or near structure like boulders or the head of riffles sometimes. But that can change depending on the water levels. When we have higher flows, the fish will tend to seek out the softer flow, or they're on the edges or even further down in the tailouts. When the water gets real low and clear, they will seek areas with a little more depth or other cover. And if it gets really extremely low and clear, that's when you'll actually find them more in the deeper holes that you might think of as more associated with salmon. But those are kind of extremes. Under most typical conditions, you're going to look for that walking speed, 4 to 8 foot of water, maybe some structure like boulders or the tail out of the larger pools or runs. So it's definitely a difference with salmon. Well, there's certainly a lot of opportunities to do things other than fishing. Of course, we like to have people come here fishing, but there's Tillamook area has the cheese factory, and of course the beaches up and down the coast. There's clamming, crabbing, catch and release sturgeon fishing in the bays in the wintertime. We have lots of other opportunities. We do have a summer steelhead run in a couple of rivers here, so people can fish steelhead year round in the Wilson and the Nestucca primarily. So there's lots to do on the fishing side. You've got the tourist side of things as well.